Welcome back to Adventures with Pictures, your favorite travel hosts, Ryan and Preston. If this is your first time stopping by, thank you for your support. You can catch us every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time right here on our channel. We are available on all major podcast platforms. Do not forget to open the description box below and check out our other links to our social media platforms. Also, hit the like button. Go ahead, hit that like button and subscribe to become part of the travel family, all right? Leave a comment and tell us what you think about today's episode. Also, check out our previous episodes from season 1 and let us know what you think about those as well. So now with that being said, hey, season 2, what's going on, Ryan? How things going in the new year?
Shoot, things are going pretty good, man. I'm excited as far as what's going on with this new season. You already see the new threads.
New merch. Yeah, be on the lookout for that new merch coming.
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely feel the new merch, man. I'm liking some of the guests we have lined up for this season. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, which is the thing that's most important. You know, just chop it up with my best friend over 20 years. Chop it up with some some really, really heavy, I might as well call them professional travelers in my book. Like just people who are heavy into the whole travel game. You could pick up some nice jewels and gems that some of these guests have, and also we even have a few familiar faces as well. So I'm just looking forward to all that. How about you, man?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you pretty much summed it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I am excited as these professional travelers, as I call myself a professional traveler, but they really are. Like some of these individuals, they actually quit their main job, their profession, how they make money mainstream, and just started traveling and really getting out there. And that's some things that, you know, I think our listeners will want to hear from. I'm just excited, man. Just, you know, what we got going on for season 2 is only going to get better. The train don't stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
It being the first episode of season 2, I definitely want to jump right in there and just get it going. Listen, and I know you just went to New York recently, so tell us about the New York trip.
Hey, man, New York was very fun. It was my first time going, period, man. So I really had a ball from New York. Just a few things that I took away from it that I think a lot of people can just really pick up on. Number one, New York just has so many beautiful, sights to see, man. Like from the Brooklyn Bridge and the skyline, they actually have like a little place where you can park and just take pictures of like the Brooklyn Bridge. It's just like a beautiful area angle. So you got things like the Brooklyn Bridge. You got, of course, you got things like the Statue of Liberty. Even if you're not into those type of landmarks, maybe you're a movie junkie like myself. They got, movie or show junkie. Another spot I went to was I had to go see Tom's Restaurant from Seinfeld. You know what I'm saying? Right there on Broadway. I had to make that little hike. Beautiful. They had the steps where the Joker, where they shot the Joker, the whole famous thing where the joint with Joaquin Phoenix and just doing this whole high step of thing, looking crazy as hell. Exactly. So one takeaway is there's just so many beautiful things to see. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see as much as I wanted to because we were all over the place. We really tried to get it in as much as possible. But number one, plenty of things to see, take pictures of. Oh, Central Park as well. Just all that. The list goes on and on. I mean, it's New York, so you get that. Another thing I took away from it is, I think it really erases some of the stereotypes that you hear. How you says like New Yorkers can be rude and things of that nature. From my experience, granted, I was there for like a weekend, but from my experience, I don't consider them rude. I think they're just strictly about business and they keeping it moving. I give you just very, very few examples. Like I went to this store called Kith, which I'll get into later on, with some of the talking points. But I went to the store called Kith, right? Kith is like this, one of these fashionable stores in New York. They actually have one in DC as well. But I didn't know about the one in my own backyard until I went into this Kith store in New York. Anyway, so I found me some nice gear to buy, things of that nature, and the cashier asked me a question. I thought it was an opening for small talk. And so she was like, so is this your first time shopping here? I was like, hey, this is my first time. But hey, she was like, is this your first time shopping here? I was like, yeah, it's my first time shopping. I had a really good time. And she was like, okay, well, how do you think about it? Do you think just to let you know, give you a heads up, you have like I think it was like a 7-day policy to return whatever you bought, something like that. And me, I bought into the whole hype of fashion and stuff. You in New York, they got all these fly kicks and things of that nature. So I'm like, oh no, I mean, I think I like these. I think I'm gonna hold on to them pretty tight. But I said it in like a jokingly sarcastic way. There was no laugh for that. And she was like, all right, so you told us this there. I was like, oh, okay. But I didn't consider that rude. She's just, hey, she didn't cuss me out. She didn't like, in my opinion, she didn't leave me hanging. It was like, I'm just gonna be cordial and we gotta keep it moving. That's it. Another example was I was in a mall. I think it's called Kings Plaza, not too far from Brooklyn. And same thing. I couldn't find a bathroom. Security guard was just doing his whole patrol or whatever. I was like, hey, can you tell where the bathroom is? Without missing a beat, he's still walking and he's just, oh, you just go this way, go that way. He kept it moving. There was no rudeness or anything. I think this whole thing is, I'm gonna tell you what you need to know, and then I'm still about to be about my business. Earlier, like I said, I went to that famous restaurant where Seinfeld was shot at, and I met one of the cooks. It didn't cross my mind at the time. I'm not sure if he was an owner or not, but one of the cooks that I went there, he was like, "Oh, okay. So so where you from?" I was like, "I'm from DC," and I was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "It is nice. I'm glad I was able to see this, man." And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, too bad. We're not really taking in any customers at the moment, but yeah, that kind of sucks." I was like, "Yeah, man. That's yeah. I wish I could sit in, man, at some point. Maybe I'll come back later." And I said something along the lines of, "Yeah, man, it's some things it looks like a ghost town in DC." So I said something to that effect. And he was like, "Oh, okay." There was no follow up or nothing. It was just like, "Hey, this is much small talk you can get from me. What you want, so I can cook what you need to cook, and you keep it moving." That's really it. So I don't consider that rude. I think because like I said, it's not like anyone cussed me out. It's not like anyone ignored me necessarily. It was like, I just need the facts, and then we about to keep this transaction moving. So that's my second talking point, man. I don't think people in New York are rude. I think they just to the point, and I think especially from the South, I think you could look at that as being rude, but I don't consider being to the point necessarily rude. And one of my third takeaways just from my trip in New York was it might be negative depending how you look at it, but I do think that it's very easy to buy into the hype of some of the stores in New York. Like you hear all this hype about certain things and like, oh yeah, man, this joint is fire over here, man. You want the best get, and it's like you get there and it's like, it really wasn't all that he was cranking up to be. Like for example, one of the main reasons why we went to New York, it was my daughter's 18th birthday. We wanted to go there. All she wanted was money. So like she had like just like a shit load of people just giving money for family, friends, classmates, all that. So she went up with, she didn't even spend it all because she's kind of like me and you. She was like, "Yes, I got this money. It don't mean I need to spend all of this money." So anyway, so our main reason to go up there was for a big old shopping trip in the first place. And just some of the places that we kept hearing about, like, just doing our research and Googles and stuff like that, we was like, all right, well, this seems to be the popping place. Let's go see for ourselves. And like a good, we went to a lot of stores, but maybe like a good 1/3 of them was like all hype. It was like, I don't see that, I don't see the big thing in this. And if you're originally from New York, I might put some stores on blast. I'm sorry, but one of the first stores we went to was called Extra Butters. I'm like, all right, I've never heard of Extra Butters. And so my first thing in my mind is like, is this like a Timberland store? Like, when I think of butter, I think of Butter Tims and all that. So, we go in, I think it was just off of Fifth Avenue. It's a very small shop. If you could easily miss it if you're not careful. So we went in here, and first off, there's no price tags on the shoes. So I'm like, what are we doing here? So in my mind, I'm already looking at it like one of those expensive ass items off like the dinner menu at like a high end restaurant. I'm like, okay, there's no price.
No price me. It's a steep.
Exactly. Exactly. And so I'm like, okay, I see Air Max with no prices on it. I see all types of kicks with no prices on it. I'm like, well, once again, we're not even here for me. And so I was like, at this point, even though Taylor's 18, I tagged along a little bit here and there just because I was curious about what some of these stores are looking like anyway. And even for somebody as Taylor is definitely much more fashionable than I am, but even someone as fashionable as my daughter, she didn't see anything that was like, I gotta get this. And so we literally spent like 5 minutes in this store called Extra Butters. That was a wrap. And we didn't do any research on this one, so I'm not going to say it was overhyped. Well, it kind of was overhyped. You let me know what you think after I explain the story. So we stumbled upon this other store. It's called the Metropolis Vintage Shop. And this is a heads up, just factual information, just in case, things of that nature. So Metropolis Vintage Shop, they're known for just having a lot of just old school clothes, like almost like if you're trying to, be fashionable in today's day and age, and you want to, like, how they say like certain things just repeat itself, like people bringing back the afros, bringing back the dreads, stuff like that. So you go in the store, it's like bringing back that 90s hip hop feel, or that 90s alternative rock feel. Like it was like a clothing store that was like, a mix between Nirvana wear and like, Wu-Tang or Tribe Called Quest, just that 90s era, you know what I'm saying? So you get that throwbackish type of thing. And one small caveat, like I remember watching this this thing on YouTube. You remember how like they used to do those heart to heart with like former teammates and stuff like that? Like Shaq and Kobe did one. I think Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson did.
Yeah,
one.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, they had one with my favorite player, one of my favorite players ever. They had one with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp. They just had like a heart to heart, and I just remember feeling so hyped. I was like, "Yo, if I ever get an opportunity to get, I might need to go back and get me that Gary Payton jersey. That was my man's. Like that was my man's $100,000. So
yeah, I wouldn't do that, but yeah, okay.
So I go into this Metropolis. Yeah. So I'll go into the Metropolis Vintage store. I'm like, I get hyped. I'm like, they got a throwback, athletics section. I'm like, oh shit, it's about to go down. And so I'm looking through the rack. I'm like, okay. First of all, so I see like they had like an Iverson jersey with like the name scratched off a little bit. Like it was like wear and tear. I was like, all right, how much is this? $65. I'm like, okay, see.
Wear and tear? Absolutely not.
And then I see like, I keep going. They had like the old school LeBron James Cleveland Cavalier when he was a rookie jersey, but that jump was faded, like all the way faded. The price is like $65. I'm like, all right, man, you know what? This is really disappointing. So long story short, I see a Sonics jersey. I'm like, okay, if this Sonics jersey is who we think it is, I might have, and it's in good condition, I might have to drop that 65. I'm like, so I'm rushing through the rack. I get to the Sonics jersey. Got damn Vin Baker. I was like, nobody calling him Vin Baker. You don't got, I was like, you know what? They had Vin Baker, freaking Nicholas Batum. Yeah, Detlef Schrempf. They had like a Nicholas Batum, Charlotte Hornets jersey. I'm like, you know what, man? I'm out, man. But it was like faded and stuff. So I'm like, well, one, I don't see any sign that says like, all right, well, whatever you see, take an extra 20% off and like that. So just from like deductive reasoning, I'm like, hey, this is the product and whatever the price tag is, that's the price. And so I'm like, I'm good, man. So long story short, so so those are just overall just my 3 takeaways with some of the things. Number one, there's plenty of stuff to see in there. Like I said, from whether you're a landmarks person or maybe you're a TV and film person, plenty of landmarks and things just to take pictures of. Like, I want to go back just so I could, fully indulge in that a little bit more. Once again, take number 2. As I mentioned, it could, I don't think New York people are rude. I think that's just how they built. Just because you're to the point doesn't necessarily mean you're rude. And take number 3, you can easily buy into the hype in some of the stores, man. And just another safety tip, man. This is like another just quick safety tip, I guess. Which shameless plug. The person I thought of was actually your channel. When one of your early episodes was talking about what type of safety trips you do when you travel. And so this is like a quick lesson learned, like whether you're traveling overseas or whether you're traveling domestic, yeah, it's still good to have some type of travel safety tips with you. We stayed off in Times Square. We stayed, in a hotel there. And so it's probably about, this is where the safety tips things come in. It's probably about 11:30 at night. We've been ripping and running all day. Oh yeah, and side note, we went to Soho as well, another dope spot if you're trying to shop. But anyway, so normally, my old self would be tired around this time, but I'm like, hey, I'm in New York. I don't know when I'm gonna come back here. I did one of your numbers. I'm like, hey, what a party at? What we doing? So it's 11:30 at night. I'm excited. I take my little Sony Alpha camera out, and it's cold as hell outside. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead. I want to do some night shooting. They got all, you've seen Times Square. They got the huge billboards, all this stuff. People outside enjoying themselves. I'm like, I'm gonna just do some night shooting. Okay. And so I'm just going out there, and my wife joined me, and so we just out there doing some night shooting, just enjoying the scene, just soaking it all in, just soaking New York in, just soaking this Times Square energy all in. Probably like around a little after midnight, and that's another thing. You definitely understand where that whole mindset comes from about New York is just like on like this different hustle, like they always on the grind, things of that nature. It's like I don't think certain stores or restaurants know the meaning of closed. Like it's like 12, it's like midnight, and there's a lot of like food shops still open. It reminds me of Adams Morgan in DC.
I mean, they said it's a city that don't sleep.
Yeah, so it's probably like around a little after 12. We get a text from my daughter. She's like, hey, do you mind? We was researching. We want some empanadas. We keep hearing about this good place, not too far from there called, empanadas. Can we have some empanadas? And so they placed the order, and then we looked at the address. We're like, okay, let's double check, where we at, our bearings, how far is this place we're going to. And it's right on Broadway, just a few blocks down on Broadway, but it's not where the lights is at. Okay, that's the key point. It's not where the lights is at. But because you just see it on Broad, my point is, just because you see it on your GPS and you see it's not that far, doesn't mean you should just be going anywhere willy-nilly. Like I'm thinking I feel safe with all these lights and it's a populated place. I'm looking at this place on my GPS. It's like, oh, it's like a 10-minute walk, 5-10-minute walk. We just go down there. They already ordered it. It should be ready when we get down there. Boom, we back, back at a hotel for the night. So mind you, I have you see my camera. I got this big ass camera. Plus it was at night. So I got the light kit on top of it. So my joint is
you look like easy prey. You look like out there. Let's get that fish.
And so
on the line.
Right.
Everybody like fresh fish on the line.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So how rappers, they got like, yo, I got your whole mortgage on my neck. They be talking all this. I'm like, yo, I got like $3,000 on my neck. So anyway, we walking, and all of a sudden, all that, population and loud noise and lights, shit started to get dim. And I'm like, all right, where we at, man? Like, what's, you know what I'm saying? So, I got my North Face on, like the zip up joint. And they got like these little construction walls where like, you got to like turn these corners. You don't know what's around the corner. It's getting dim out here. And so she was like, yeah, let's get these. And so, wife was like, yeah, let's get these and we're going to turn around and get back. So we get to the empanada spot. I think it was like 39th and Broadway. And once again, there's no feeling of feeling safe anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't see no lights. I don't see no police around. It's just this, solo ass empanada spot on this block. You know what I'm saying? And so we go to the empanada spot, and literally maybe like 30 seconds into it, some like dude come around the corner. He just started yelling out Jamaican, like broken Jamaican, like to nobody. No, to nobody. He just started yelling broken Jamaican, walking down the street like Bumbaclon, don't know, whatever. And so I'm like, all right, man, let me tuck my shit in, man. So
Brian got scared out that thing.
Cause he's like yelling this random Jamaican stuff like to nobody.
Brian said, please don't run up on me.
And he's walking towards us. So I was like, let me tuck in my shit. So I unzipped the North Face. I tuck in this big ass camera in this, snug North Face jacket. And so like, our wife would get a little frustrated at this point. She was like, Ryan, you look suspicious. You got a bomb under your jacket.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, you're in this jacket. What is wrong with you, bro?
I'm looking pregnant almost. I'm like, let me tuck my shit, man. And so the dude that's speaking Jamaican, he's going back and forth. Like he's maybe walking halfway down the block to where we at. He's turning around the corner, and then he goes back and turns the corner. He just goes back and forth for like every 30 seconds, going back and forth. And like, you know how like certain stuff, it just seems like it takes forever. Like once like you feel like tension in the air, like quick shit just feels like it takes forever. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, yo, why these joints ain't ready yet? You know, you start asking these questions to yourself.
You know, bro, I don't mean to cut you off, but you sound like my man DJ Academics when
Yeah, it was like,
when Joe Budden said that shit to the Migos.
yeah,
He started hitting him with the
yeah, he was like, yo, man, I was like,
bro,
what is?
you made yourself a target by looking nervous. If you,
Yeah,
I mean, think about it, man. You went to school with Morgan, you know,
Yeah.
in Baltimore.
yeah,
Bro, you have to look a certain part, bro. Not to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that that's going to like help you in the long run,
Mhm.
but initially, if you gotta look the part, bro. Like you're in New York City, no
Yeah.
matter if you in Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, whatever. Look a certain part, carry yourself a certain way.
Act like you've been there before, right?
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying. Like that's what you have to do. I mean, but those are just survival skills. You know what I'm saying? Like you could put me anywhere, you know, anywhere. I mean, yeah, you can get beat up, mugged anywhere in the world. You can
Yeah.
be in the county or whatever, but
Mhm.
you have to look a certain way, man.
Yeah.
And you probably should have carried a book bag with you. So that
Yeah.
way, once you got away from the area where you would normally take pictures or, you know, any type of thing like that,
I could put it in your
put
book.
the camera up. You walking around with a goddamn, you know, multimedia center on your chest, you look like a target. You look like a soft target. You're like, oh, well, he looks nervous. He looked like he wants to give it to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That camera don't look cheap around his neck. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, like,
yeah,
he got his girl with him, so I know you ain't gonna just outrun her and leave her. Hey,
right.
so yeah, like some of the stuff that you're saying to me sounds like you need to be wary of your situation. You know, you gotta have your situational awareness.
Yeah.
That's a takeaway that I'm taking away. Yeah, you got the glisten glitter or whatever, but still be safe, be conscious of your surroundings and stuff like that. And it also sound like, you know, like I said, don't fall into the traps of, you know, money, like, you know, money pitfalls or money traps, because you can easily be like, oh, I'm gonna pay $100 for a faded jersey. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So that sounds like that go towards your budgeting when you travel. Make sure you stick to your budget. You know, make sure it's something that you actually want or need or whatever, because you know money runs out quickly. You know, so yeah.
Yeah. And these are things that made me think about those safety tips that you brought up, like being aware of your situation. Even though it was just a few blocks over, I'm not familiar with, you know, this whole Times Square in New York. Like literally, I didn't even like, for some reason I just assumed like the lights and stuff would still be going on in the direction we was at. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's why I thought about, you know, the type of safety tips you give about being aware of your situation, and like even something as simple as bringing a book bag. Like, I mean, you know, like a bag. I had my camera bag with me, but I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, you know what, bringing a camera bag with me, I thought that would make me more of a target. Like, oh, where he got in that bag? I might want that.
That expensive ass camera made you a target.
Exactly.
I mean, anything, like I said, man, you would want to, you know, like I said, disguise your camera, you know, in a bag or whatever. Take it out when you need it. Don't just walk around your neck, unless you're in a well-lit area and you feel comfortable.
Safe.
You know what I'm saying? You feel safe, feel comfortable, stuff like that. But
yeah, which I wasn't.
It sounded like you had a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You say you want to go back. I'm glad that Jamaican guy didn't run up on you, because he might be the co-host of Adventure with Pictures. He'd be like, don't worry about Ryan Mine. I am here. And he'll be like, look at me. I am the captain.
I am the co-host now.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad, you know what I'm saying, you and your family were safe and had a good time, and you want to, you know, go back to New York. I love New York. I've been there several times. Just, you know, various locations, whether it be like Harlem or, you know, downtown Manhattan or whatever. I had family that lived in Long Island. Well, they lived on Long Island in the Westbury area. So yeah, New York can be a scary place. You know what I'm saying? Them lights do get bright for some people.
Yeah.
Just be, you know, cognizant of your, you know, of your area.
Right. And just to backtrack really, very quickly, like the way that story ended, like, you know, he kept doing that back and forth thing, making us nervous. You know, I ended up taking the camera out my jacket and just at least unhooking the light piece so I don't look so hot.
You put that in your pocket.
Yeah, I put that in my pocket. But anyway, so
okay.
Yeah, so I'm but my pocket was deep enough where the light kick wasn't poking out. So, but anyway, just to end the story, like the thing that made us like, all right, we gotta just roll back. Like we finally get our empanadas, and like I'm like, just so happens when we get our empanadas, we hear this dude go, all right, man, we out, yo, we out, yo. I'm like, why y'all out when I get my empanadas? You know what I'm saying? Like this don't make me feel.
Bro, you sound scared to death, bro.
No, like, why you out when I gotta be out? I don't like this. You know what I'm saying?
Why you want to?
But long story short,
on me, man?
Bro, but long story short, man, he went somewhere else with like a bunch of other dudes that was around the corner. We went the opposite way towards the lights, you know, and happily ever after, I'm still in one piece.
Bro, you was talking about this light like it was the end of the tunnel. Like you were talking about like, hey man, the light, bro. All I can talk about is the light. Stay in the light.
Yeah, go back towards these Times Square lights, though. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up, though, man. I'm glad everything worked out and you were safe, man. Because, like I said, stuff happens fast. You know what I'm saying? But safety first, bro. Like I said, everything I do is safety first. So definitely want to rehash New York later down the road. You know, when the temperature's better and people outside smiling, giggling, having fun, laughing. I wouldn't even mind going up there with you. You know, it's a real quick trip from where we're at.
Oh yeah,
3-4 hours, whatever. So 3-4 hours, we could be. That's nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing, man.
It's nothing. So definitely want to sightsee and take some pictures up there and let our viewers know of New York a little bit more in detail as far as not a shopping trip, but just more of a excursion trip. You know, seeing some of the other sites as the Times Square, the Brooklyn Bridge. Also, I want to look at the memorial, for 9/11. I think that'd be super dope. It's a lot. Like I said, it's a lot to see. So
it's a lot.
So many films have been made and created there. I know Spike Lee. He shoots a lot of films there. Because he's from Brooklyn. So for me, when I go to New York or whenever I can, I plan on seeing, the Brooklyn Nets Stadium, Madison Square Garden, things of that nature, more landmark based. But try to get some culture in too. Because I do have one question for you before we get off.
Sure.
What type of empanadas were there?
I'm not a big foodie guy. It was this restaurant called Mama's Empanadas.
But you're not sure on like it was Jamaican, if it was.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it was a Jamaican spot. It was definitely.
Okay, so it was Jamaican empanadas. Okay.
Yeah, it was Jamaican empanadas. Yeah. I thought you meant like in detail, like what type of stuff was inside.
No. Because
it was Jamaican.
Everybody, a lot of Hispanics or a lot of like Islanders, they have empanadas. So far, my favorite empanadas are from Colombia. They're delicious.
Okay.
Get a chance, get some empanadas. I had it from Cartagena, and it was bomb.
And my bad. One other tip I should have probably put at the beginning. One of my takeaways: if you are scary when it comes to like traffic and aggressive driving, don't do what we did. Like in a perfect world, if I could rewind that weekend, what I should have did was we park at the hotel first, and then we either walk or Uber or wherever we need to go. We did the opposite. I can imagine we got to New York before it was time for us to check in. And so with that being said, we just drove all around until it was time to check in. But, just like a quick tip, just for those who don't know, just because it's not time to check in yet, most hotels, if not all, will still allow you, maybe like if you do like valet parking or something like that, or whatever the case is, they'll allow you to like park or, put your stuff away until it's time for you to check in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's one thing, because I'm a very passive defensive driver. I'm scary with it to the point where actually wifey had to drive, a lot of the time.
Sure, let's just go ahead and edit that out this podcast. Let's not. Yeah, Preston can have co-hosts say I'm passively aggressive. Like
I got no shame in mine.
Like, babe, you want to drive? Because it's too much.
It's too much.
That's what's up. So now we know, Ryan, he need lights. He needs protection, and he ain't driving with the with the crazy people.
Yeah, when it's Cause like it's so much traffic, but people still drive aggressive. I'm like, hey, what we doing, man? So, but even when wifey was driving, she almost, even as comfortable she almost hit like 3 delivery drivers delivering food. You know what I'm saying? Like people,
That's
yeah,
that's the thrill.
you
know,
head on the
you
swivel.
gotta have the thrill, dog. If you ain't try to hit, you know what I'm saying, at least 4 people, hey, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? I didn't drove a car all across the world. You gotta get out there, bro.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's another story about Ryan's non-driving ass.
Yep.
Hey, make sure, like I said, you tune into episode 2, which, like I said, every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. We definitely gonna be uploading new content every Tuesday. All right, and make sure, like I said, you like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Let us know you was here. If there's any type of subject matter that you would like us to cover, or is there anybody that you can recommend that you want to hear, to hear from, that we can interview, hey, just drop us a line, and we definitely will be involved. All right. All right. So, like, this is Preston and Ryan. We signing off from Adventures with Pictures.
Peace.